Hello everyone. Welcome back. We're going back above the ground. Is he going to talk to me now? Of course he is. Omae, yoku kiku no da. So, yeah, just, well, listen well. And then no da, that kind of way of asking or telling someone to do something. マスターソードが大麻の力を失ったのは剣に神の力を注ぎ込んだ賢者たちの身に何か起きたという現れだ現れ I threw my phone away. I need it now. There we go. Alright. Well, to start off with, we have this, no wa thing again, right? So, Master Sodo ga taima no chikara wo ushinatta no wa. So, ushinao is to lose. So, this is past tense. So, ushinatta, lost. And then what has it lost? The taima no chikara. So, taima being obviously repel evil. And then chikara is power, so the repel evil power. And then ushinatta, as I said, is lost. And the Master Sword is what's done that. So the Master Sword lost its repel evil power. I think araware must be like a sign or an indication, maybe. Indication's probably a good translation. I've really got to start using my aircon. It's really hot. Embodiment, manifestation, materialization, expression, indication, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. So, the Master Sword... The Master Sword lost its repel evil power is an indication of this entire clause. An indication of the Ken ni Kami no chikara wo sosogikonda kenja tachi no mi ni nanika okita. So I think this is like to the me, which is like a body, to the bodies of the kenja tachi. Kenja tachi is, kenja is a sage or a wise being. And so tachi is a pluralizer. So to the bodies of the sages who, I suppose, sosogikonda, I guess kind of imbued or kind of poured into to the sword, I guess, the god power or the god's power. God, that's a mess already, isn't it? Yeah, to the bodies of the sages who poured into to the sword, the god power, the god's power. Nanika okita. Something happened, something has happened. And then toyu, just kind of to sort of modify araware. Like, it's just that kind of indication. It indicates this kind of thing. And that's that something has happened to the bodies of the sages who imbued the Master Sword with the god's power. Kenja wa kono hairaru no kita ni aru kaze no shinden to minami ni aru daichi no shinden de sorezore ni kami e no inori o sasagete iru hazu. So Kenja wa, the sages, and then just wa, right, the sages. Kono hairaru no kita ni aru kaze no shinden to. So this Hyrule no kita ni aru, to exist to the north, basically. Kaze no shinden, wind temple, and, to just being and. Minami ni aru daichi no shinden de. So kind of, this de is like at those places, right? Something should be happening, something is happening at those places. And this is Minami ni aru, to exist to the south. Daichi no Shinden, Earth Temple. So we've got 2 temples here listed, and then de to say at those temples. Sorezore ni, just meaning at, individually at each of those places. Kami e no inori, so a prayer to the gods, or prayers to the gods, essentially. Sasageteiru hazu, and sasageru, I guess, is to offer. So sasageteiru just means, present continuous, I suppose, being offered, are being offered, and then hazu, just an expectation that is the case. They should be being offered. These prayers to the gods should be being offered individually at both the Earth Temple to the south and the Wind Temple to the north. And Kenja was the topic, so we're talking about what the sages should be doing, it seems. お前はその2つの神殿に赴き、賢者の身に何が起こったのかを調べ、再び剣に大麻の力を蘇らせるのだ。I forgot to do a voice. Never mind. So, お前は you, その2つの神殿に to those 2 temples. Omomuku, I guess, is just a crazy way of saying to go, it says. To go, to proceed. Huh. I guess it has a different vibe to iku. But it basically means the same thing. And this is the stem, omomuki, because we want the sentence to continue. Kenja no mi ni nani ga okotta no ka o shirabe. Shirabe is to investigate, basically, or rather, shiraberu is to investigate. So this is the stem, because again, we want the sentence to continue after the verb here. So, investigate. Investigate. Well, this is kind of a question, isn't it? Like, I don't know, what happened to the bodies of the sages? Investigate is kind of how that's working. Investigate what happened to them. And futatabi ken ni, so once again to the sword, taima no chikara, repelling evil power, yomigayeraseru, cause to revive, or bring back, resurrect, I don't know, return, restore, that's what I mean. Zannen nagara, kono hairaru dewa, Ganon ga hari meguraseta kekkai ni yotte, shinden e no michi wa tatareteiru. Something like that. So zannen nagara is just, while it is unfortunate, or unfortunately, I guess, kono hairaru dewa, this Hyrule at, or in this Hyrule, Ganon ga hari meguru. I think that's right. It's just like to install, basically, isn't it? Ah. Okay. Hari... Why doesn't it like that? Megu ras? Really? Really? To stretch around? Really? There's not like a transitive? Hold on. Really? It has to be a ras? Huh. Doesn't seem to be a... Oh, there doesn't seem to be a... an intransitive version. I don't know, not according to my dictionary anyway. So, hari megurasu is your base verb, which means apparently to stretch around. I don't know why that works. That is intransitive. To lay out, so that's transitive. To string up, that's transitive. Huh, anyway, whatever. So Ganon has megurashted. He has megurashted a kekkai, which is a barrier. So he has sort of, he's enclosed the area in a barrier, is what that's basically saying. But the information of kind of stretching around is modifying the barrier. So it says kind of like by, that's kind of niyotte is like by, isn't it? By the barrier that Ganon has, you know, kind of laid out. The Shinden Enomichi, the road to the temples, kind of, is tatareteru. I guess, like, is being stopped? Is being... Yeah, I think so. Tatarete... Excuse me, tatareteru. I think that's right. It's just like it's being ceased. The road to the temples is being ceased. It is being prevented. Yeah, okay, that'll do. Plenty on that one. Daga, Shinden e no iriguchi wa takai yama no ue, umi no ue de wa shima to natteiru basho ni mou hitotsu aru no da. So daga, just but, Shinden e no iriguchi wa, regarding like entrances to the temples, or, you know, entrances to the temples. A bit less clunkily. 1 second. My headphones are a disaster. Takai yama no ue. So, you know, like high mountains top or above the tall mountains. Did I say high mountains? I guess it's similar. So, yeah. At the top of the tall mountains. I think he kind of maybe corrects himself a little bit here. Because there's not really any particles that make that work properly as a sentence with what comes next. Umi no ue de wa. Yeah, I think he might correct himself. Umi no ue de wa. So yeah, kind of the top of the ocean, or on top of the ocean, or on the ocean's surface. De wa shima to natteiru basho ni. So places that kind of exist having become islands, I suppose, is what is a clunky translation of that, you know. Places that exist having become islands, or places that turned into islands, or something. Ni mou hitotsu aru. There exists one more of those entrances at places that have become islands on top of the ocean. Yeah, something like that. それぞれの場所はいつものようにお前の持つ海図に記しておいた. Okay, so それぞれの場所. So those individual places, each of those places, I believe. いつものように, kind of as always, I guess. いつものように. Yeah. Yeah, kind of in the same way of always, in the same way as always, Omae no motsu kaizu ni, to your possess map, or sea chart I should say, shirushite oita, I have kind of written them, I have recorded them in writing, I guess. Made a record. Sa, itsu made mo koko ni iru to Zeruda no sonzai ga teki ni shirarete shimau. Okay, so now, itsu made mo koko ni iru to. What is even this? I think itsu made mo is like... it's kind of a way of saying always, isn't it? Itsu made mo. It's like until inclusive of whenever. Maybe. It's like until whenever, until forever, until... any and all points in time, or something weird like that. Koko ni iru to, we exist at here, and Zeruda no sonzai ga, Zelda's existence, teki ni shirarete shimau, by enemies will undesirably be known. Sugu ni kaijou ni modoru zo, so immediately, kaijou, you know, ocean above, ni modoru, go back to above the ocean. Alright, mate. Let's go. He's got more words for us. Okay, so we've got Omae wa Toki no Yusha no densetsu wo shitteru ka? So our name and then the pronoun. Omae wa Toki no Yusha, time hero, no densetsu, the legend of the hero of time. And then shitteiru, just, you know, do you know it? Yeah, in Japanese, when you ask someone if they know something, you pretty much always say shitteiru, shitteimasu. You use sort of the present continuous. You don't say shirimasu ka. You don't use the stem like you might expect you would as an English speaker. So we say, do you know this? You know, we don't say, are you knowing this? But in Japanese, they kind of say, are you knowing? Kind of. Katsute ano ganon wo taoshi. So one time long ago, maybe. Ano ganon, that Ganon. Taoshi, he felled that Ganon. Hairaru ni heiwa o motorashita toki no yusha ni mo Zeruda to onaji torai force ga yadotte ita. Yeah, so I think it's like also to the hero of time who motorasu, I think, is to just sort of cause to happen, to bring about. Yeah, who brought about Heiwa is peace, so he brought peace to Hyrule. So sorry, yeah, I've got to go back a bit. So to him also, or within him also. Zeruda to onaji, the same with Zelda, or as we would say, the same as Zelda. Torai force ga yadotte ita. The Triforce kind of slumbered within him, resided. It kind of, you know, how do you say that? It just was within him. It resided. It stayed, not stayed. It was within him, I suppose, the Triforce. それは勇気のトライフォースといって So that thing I just mentioned, the Triforce I'm talking about, Yuki no Triforce to ite, courage Triforce called, I guess. And that wasn't the end of the sentence, he's carrying on now. Toki no yusha ga toki wo tabi shite hairaru o saru toki, yusha no moto wo hanare, yatsu no kakera to natte, kakuchi ni tobichita to iwareteiru. Okay. Okay, so I think it's just like the time that the time hero kind of travelled through time and left Hyrule. Saru is to leave. Let's go over some words. Tabisuru is to kind of to travel, basically. So yeah, at the time that the time hero travelled through time, we've got O here, so he is travelling time. Yeah, that's kind of a better translation, probably. He is travelling time. He travels time. And leave Hyrule. It's interesting that it's Saru and not past tense, but I guess maybe this bit happened before this happened, so it's a relative tense thing. Anyway, at the time he travelled time and left Hyrule, or just before he left Hyrule, perhaps, given it's Saru. Yusha no moto o hanare. I think he's talking about the Triforce still, right? So he's saying the Triforce distanced itself. It kind of separated. That's what I'm saying. It separated from the hero's kind of motto. It's just kind of, well, your base, I suppose. So kind of the base of his body, wherever he is, he takes his motto with him, right? Because he is himself, right? Maybe it's a bit hard to explain, but I think, you know, it just left his body. It left his physical body, I guess. And yatsu no kakera to natte, it became. It's interesting that it's toe instead of ni, but it's not really different, I don't think. So it became 8 shards, and kakuchi ni, kind of each region, to each region perhaps, tobichita. It's just kind of like, tobu is to kind of fly, and chiru is kind of to, what do leaves do? When leaves kind of fall, you know, there's lots of them and they kind of all fall sort of separately. They flutter, I suppose. That's kind of what it's saying. It's like the Triforce shards flew and kind of like maybe fluttered down in individual places, sort of thing. Tobichita to iwareteiru, which is literally just like, it is being said. It is said that. This information is said. So it might not be true, but it is said that that is the case. And sore ga doko ni aru ka watashi mo wakaranu ga. I guess we'll go over that first. So that doko ni aru ka, where is it, or at, you know, at where does it exist, or at where is, yeah, are they, I suppose, are they? Watashi mo, I also, wakaranu, kind of do not know, do not understand where they are. And then ga, just but, kono hiroi umi no doko ka ni kanarazu nemutteiru hazu. This hiroi umi, this wide ocean, no doko ka, this wide ocean's somewhere, ni, at, kanarazu, like definitely, I guess, nemutteiru, they are sleeping, they are resting, and then hazu, just, you know, he expects that's the case. They should be resting somewhere in this ocean, for sure. Hairaru e no iriguchi o futatabi hiraku ni wa... Oh, okay. Sono yuki no torai force ga kagi to naru. Interesting. Hairaru e no iriguchi wo futatabi hiraku ni wa. So I guess this ni wa is like to do this clause. So to open once again the entrance of to Hyrule. Sono yuki no torai force, that courage triforce ga kagi to naru, will be the key to do it. It will be the key. Naru, yeah, it just kind of means kind of will be, I guess, sometimes. Or at that time it will become the key. It will act as the key. It will be the key. Kind of funny, isn't it? Sagashi dasu no da. Sagashi dasu, I guess just search them out. Oh, to locate, to discover. Just find them, basically. Sagashi dasu no da. Alright, mate. Is that what I want to do, then? I don't really fancy getting up to anything else, really. Let's go and get the arrows, right? What was this? Was this Shippu or something? Shippu no Uta. So we want to go here because we warp. Thanks to the tornado, we land inside the island, don't we? And then we're able to see... We're able to meet this great fairy who gives us arrows. I haven't found the second wallet, have I? I think I need to work on finding that. Hello. This is basically a sound of like kind of giggling. Yeah, I guess it is kind of giggling. Kusu kusu. It's an onomatopoeic word, I believe. And then oi, soko no kodomo. So just oi, and then you know, that child over there. You know, you over there, the child. Kaze o ayatsureru no ka? That's potential form, isn't it? So, you know, are you able to control the winds, essentially? Are you able to manipulate the winds? I'm going to do away with that voice because I'm creeping myself out. Kusu kusu, so she's just laughing again. Yoku kono basho ga wakatta na. So, well, I suppose, kono basho ga, this place, wakatta, you have understood, or you, yeah, something like that. You have, maybe you knew. You've done well to know this place, or you've done well to understand to come to this place, or something like that. Watashi wa Yosei Kai no Jou. Okay, so I am the, I guess Jou is just literally, you know, like female king, so queen, basically. Queen of the fairy world, I believe, maybe. Doshita? Odorokanai no ka, kodomo? So doshita, like literally how happened, or what has happened, what's up kind of thing, what's wrong. Odoroku is to be surprised. Not in a kind of a jumped, scared kind of way, but just to be kind of surprised to learn something, maybe. Odorokanai no ka? So, you know, are not you surprised, I suppose. And then kodomo, just child. Kini itta, which basically means I like you. You know, you've entered my vibe. Is maybe a weird and literal way to translate it, but you know, I think that kind of works weirdly. It's like, you know, we vibe. We vibe with her. Is kind of maybe the. She likes us. Omae no yumiya ni alatana chikara wo atayete yaru zo. So, omae no, your yumiya, bow and arrows, ni, so to your bow and arrows, alatana chikara, new power. Atayeru. Atayeru is to confer, to grant, to give, basically. So atayete yaru just kind of changes the vibe in a little bit and makes it sound a bit more, I don't know, man, just makes it sound a bit more rough in my opinion, but I might be wrong. Give it us. Nice. We shouldn't put the mouse on the screen. Some really interesting words in these text boxes. Was that an accident? Did I just pick up a fairy mid cutscene? Or does that happen all the time? I think that was an accident, wasn't it? I think a fairy flew into us and healed us up mid cutscene. That's pretty funny. Yumiya ni kori to hono no chikara ga sonowatta. Interesting. Yumiya ni, so to the bow and arrows. Kori is ice. Hono is flame. So you just got kori to hono. So ice and flame or fire. No chikara, the power of those things. Ga sonawatta. We're kind of, so it's kind of like your bow and arrows were equipped. Were prepared. It's kind of intransitive, I think, is sonawatta. So it's like your bow and arrows were prepared so that they can use ice and fire. It doesn't really matter. Basically, we got the ice and fire arrows, right? But there you go. Yumi o kamaeta toki ni. So at the time, I guess, that you have held, that you have prepared for use the bow. Aru de kirikaete, using R, kind of just alternate, basically, switch between. Kirikaeru is to just switch between things. And then uttemio. Utsu is to fire or to shoot or whatever. So uttemio is just kind of, try it out. Or let's try it out, perhaps. Let's have another fairy fly into us. That'll be funny. Kori no ya wa moe sakaru hono o korase, maybe? Did I read that right? Kori no ya. So kori no ya is just ice arrows and then what? They're the topic. Moe sakaru hono o... I don't know if I'm reading that right. Koru... I think it is. I think I was right. Yeah, korase. Okay. Moe sakaru is basically... Moeru is to burn in the intransitive sense. So a fire kind of burns. Fires burn until they run out of fuel, for example. They don't burn other things necessarily, because that would be transitive. But fires burn. There is a fire burning in the corner, for example. That's what it's saying. And this is what this is. Moe sakaru. Sakaru is basically means to be sort of full of vigor, I believe. It's sort of to be very lively. So moe sakaru is just to burn very livelily, or very brightly, or very, powerfully. And of course we have moe sakaru hono, so it's all modifying hono. So burning brightly fires, and then korase. Koru is to freeze, and korase is to cause to freeze. So same again, like, koru is the intransitive where water, freezes at 0 degrees C, for example, or whatever. And korase is the causative. So with these ice arrows, we will cause things to freeze. We will koraseru them. And then we have hono no ya wa, so flame arrows wa itetsuku kori wo tokasu. I've only ever seen this word in this game, so you probably won't need it ever again. But yeah, itetsuku is just to, I guess, just to be very cold or something, right? To freeze, itetsuku. Itetsuku kori, so maybe that's transitive. No, it's intransitive. Interesting, okay. Itetsuku. So yeah, itetsuku kori wo tokasu, maybe? Yeah, tokasu must be transitive, right? So kind of freezing ice, or ice that freezes. I don't know, man. Tokasu, just melt. So it melts ice that freezes. I don't know, man. Kono izumi no yousei wa omae no kizu o iyashite kureru. Tsukatte mo ii zo. So this fountain's fairies wa omae no kizu, your injuries, iyashite kureru. They will heal them. And then tsukatte mo ii ze, like, even using them is fine. Or, go ahead and use them, I guess. Kodomo yo. So just addressing us. Naka naka konomi no taibu datta zo. Guzu guzu. Naka naka just meaning like considerably. Konomu is a verb meaning to have a preference. So konomi, I guess, is just preferred, if you want to put it in natural English. So preferred type, and then datta. I don't know why it's datta, really. Unless she's referring to something like when she was alive, we were her preferred type. I don't know, man. Maybe it doesn't really matter, right? It's just a tense thing. And konomi no type datta, so she's saying you're my preferred type. Yeah, something like that. And then kusu kusu just giggling. Don't give us that look, dude. He's not impressed. I guess that'll do, to be honest. I don't know what I'm going to do next, really. So, I guess I'll have to think. I don't know if I want to do, like, map fish. Or dungeons. Map fish might make sense. But it's going to take a long time. And there's going to be a lot of crazy Japanese everywhere. So I don't know. But I'll decide, and maybe that'll do for this part. Quite a short one, relatively. But yeah, that'll do. Alright, good. Thanks for watching. Like if you want, don't if you don't. Sub if you want, don't if you don't. Thanks to my patrons. Hope it's been worth it, and I'll catch you next time.